Hey everyone, 2023 is winding down. It's time to take stock of what goals you accomplished this year. So take a moment to reflect. It's been a long year, a lot going on in the world. What were the goals that you established at the start of the year? How close did you get to achieving those things? I think it's really important to reflect back on how far you've come and what you've accomplished. Looking forward into 2024, all right? We know the stats on New Year's resolutions. I like to call them goals, but call them New Year's resolutions. The stats say that only 5% of people follow through on what their New Year's resolution is. Why is that? Most of the time, it's because we expect instant gratification and we're not willing to work towards improving an area of our lives for the long term or taking small segmented improvements over the course of the year. Okay, so there's two ways you can protect against letting your New Year's resolution or your 2024 goals, whatever you want to call it, drop off early and face that February slumber. All right. First thing you want to do, you want to make sure that you have tangible, measurable metrics behind each goal. I recommend only keeping it to 1 to 2 goals. That way you can measure success and you're not trying to bite off more than you can chew. All right, so tangible metrics are supremely important if you're going to stick to it. So rather than saying, hey, I want to work out, I want to put on some muscle mass in the coming year, I'm going to hit the gym in the coming year. Say I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle. But don't just put it out there into the ether. You want to have a timeline behind these tangible metrics. So I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle mass by the end of March. Great. That's a goal. You can set that goal and you can build each day to accomplish that goal over the course of the next 3 months. Okay. Or if you want to say something like, hey, I want to rekindle that connection with my dad, or I want to rekindle that connection with an old friend. Don't just say that. It's not going to happen. You're going to reach out once maybe, and then it's going to drop off. Set some tangible goals. I want to be able to get together in person with this person by June and be able to have a relationship that buds from there. And then you take the steps to get to that point in June. You work backwards from that tangible timeline, and you build out a tangible goal that you can then shoot for. So that's the first thing. The second thing you want to do is you want to build in accountability towards accomplishing these goals. So they can be your own self-accountability, or it can be partnering up with a mentor or a peer or a trusted confidant and making sure you have that accountability partner in your life who can hold you accountable to achieving those goals. All right. So I like to break it down into monthly check-ins towards my goals. And I'll describe a specific goal I accomplished in 2023 using this method. But I like to break it down monthly. I like to check in where I am, take a gut check, take a status check. If 1 month was short, you have to accelerate that next month. If 1 month is great, all right, if 1 month has a surplus towards your goal, you don't hit the pause button. You stomp on the gas and you continue to adjust your goals, maybe increase your goal as you continue throughout the year. All right, so having those check-ins at least quarterly with yourself to set a barometer on where you are. I like to do it monthly. And then I like to have an accountability partner that I tell my goals to ahead of time. At the start of the year, I have someone who knows the goals that I'm trying to achieve, and I ask them and I trust them to check in and make sure that I'm getting towards the goals that I set out to accomplish for myself. Okay, so that's a big part of how I accomplish my goals each year. So those two things, very important. I'm going to give you an example of one of the goals I accomplished in 2023 using this format. All right, so starting in 2023, I set out that I wanted to run 400 miles. So my goal is I want to be fit. I want to stay lean for my family. I want to be able to play with my kids and outrun my kids and be able to wrestle with my kids. And to do that, I want to stay in shape. So that tangible metric of 400 miles was what I wanted to achieve this year in terms of running. And I broke down the math, broke down the days I wanted to run, and I worked backwards from there to set that up. And then each month, I did a checkpoint. Am I on pace to hit that goal? If yes, great. I keep my foot on the gas pedal. If no, great. I have to accelerate that. It's tougher to run when it's snowing outside in January and February. Luckily, we didn't get much of that, but very important to set up those checkpoints to hold yourself accountable. Now, I sought out to accomplish 400 miles. Halfway through the year, I was at 350 miles. All right, so I had a surplus. I was ahead of my goal. At that point, I could have said, great, 50 miles left in the next 6 months. No problem. I could coast from here and achieve my goal, pack it in, call it a day, call it successful. But instead of doing that, I readjusted. Halfway through the year, I was at 350. So I readjusted my goal. It was no longer 400. It was now 700 miles that I wanted to achieve in 2023. And then I rebuilt. What are the days I need to run? What do I have to work towards? What are some of the obstacles that are going to be in my way? Like family things, kids things, the weather. What are some of those things that I can account for so I can achieve that goal of 700? And we're sitting here. We have 1 week left in the year. I just got back from a run. I've got 3 miles left to hit that goal of 700. You think I'm going to get there? I think so. I think I'll get out for another run in the next 7 days because I've held myself accountable. I had a tangible goal. I set a timeline for that tangible goal, and I had personal accountability, and I had another person who knew my goal, who checked in with me, who pushed me, who kept me accountable to what I said I would achieve. For that reason, I'm going to achieve my goal. I'm going to exceed my initial goal, and I'm going to set another goal for 2024, both in my personal life and my professional life. I'm going to follow the same I'm going to follow the same format for this. I'm going to follow the same thing, the same recipe to get there, and I'm going to achieve my 2 goals for 2024 because I know that I have the format in place to do so. I have the accountability in place to do so. All right, so set 1 to 2 goals for yourself, follow this formula, and you'll achieve success. Thank you.